Welcome and thank you for tuning in. My name is Daniëlle, and uh, this is my office at home. I hope you guys are safe and healthy. Marina, great sales pitch. Um, I I want to share my experience with regards to remote um, workflows, specifically in this trying time. I hope you guys are safe and that you're not venturing out into where the virus can get you. I recently I've worked on different things. So I don't work on just the top end of the scale. Also work on the lower end of the scale. So end of November, I get a phone call from a friend of mine that lives in the States. He directed a film, and if I say directed a film, it's really an indie. Like literally 6 people on set, that's it. That's how they're shooting. Anyway, long story short, I'm just checking all the. If you got a question, please post it. I'm just gonna blabber until we get to some questions. So hopefully you learn something. Anyway, long story short, he's got this footage and he needs an assistant. Can I please help him? So he posts, not posts. He couriers these 2 hard drives to me from the States. Okay, you can't do that at the moment for some reason. The borders are closed. Anyway, so he posts these hard drives to me, and I quickly sync them up. And I told him, listen, I'm busy on a show. I can't do that right now, but I'll do it. I'll do it just between Christmas and New Year. That's when I can help you. So he's like, cool. Anyway, I finished the syncing and everything. And because he had the exact same media that I've got on my 2 drives, he's got the exact same media. All I needed to do was to send him the Premiere Pro project. Okay. Now I know that I'll get you Magda Marie. Did I say it right? Magda Marie. I like your surname. My grandmother's surname was van Rooyen. Um, so I know that Barry Strict at the moment is doing a series called Melody, SABC series. I think Lungelo was also on it. There might be editors actually tuning in, like working on this, and I don't even know. And basically what they've done is they distributed the media. Barry's got the same media that the editors have, and all they basically need to do is send the Premiere Pro project to each other, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I'm probably talking under correction, but what they've been doing towards the end of the workflow, the colorist has the same media that Barry has, and they've been transporting the DaVinci Resolve projects between one another, which is great because you can finish, right? Okay. So let me paint you a picture of how the post workflow works. We have an edit, and most of you are sitting at home and you're sitting with a hard drive. Right? Let me get a hard drive. There's a hard drive here somewhere. Oh, there we go. Okay. You've got a hard drive. Okay. And if you're a one-man show, there we go. If you're a one-man show, you pop your stuff on here and you edit. Okay. You've probably been, Magda, you've been doing this for 17 years, yeah? Okay. Ronald Lewis has been working remotely for probably 35 years up. I know that Marina also actually works from home now. When I started working with Marina, she was an editor with me at the facility at Homebrew. And we were working on site, in other words, in the office. And then, of course, she moved her stuff home and she's working from home. So a lot of editors has been doing this for a long time. Who's seen the meme, an editor before quarantine and an editor during quarantine? It's the exact same. Our lives hasn't really changed. It's just a matter of now you can't really go deliver the project, and that's really what this Q&A session is about. Nobody asking questions yet, so that basically means I'm talking to myself, which is great. Okay, so to give you a little bit of background, I worked on a series Trackers. It was an Mnet, and until recently, I was still doing HBO deliveries because the show is also for HBO. And of course, just before lockdown happened, all of this was happening. And I received a hard drive. And on this hard drive, I needed to copy everything that was on the shared storage. Everything. Okay? It took me 3 days. 3 freaking days. So I did that and I made sure that everything was there. Because lo and behold, you miss one thing. How can you work? So it's basically open up the project, making sure everything relinks, make sure that your shared storage is not connected. And I mean, that was a story in itself. And then listening intently, Carly, you're not an editor, are you? You're just doing this to support Jack, aren't you? Anyway, so while I was doing this copy, I was working on another series for Sci-Fi Channel, and we were on episode 7 when the lockdown happened. Okay, so and this is a visual effects heavy show. So in other words, we're done with the offline edit. There's no more offline editing happening. Barry Donnelly is busy with his sound. Okay, David Grant is busy with the color. And then we've got the visual effects department also working on visual effects. So they would do their stuff, upload to Media Shuttle. And then from Media Shuttle is almost like we use it for international distribution of files. Files are massive that you can send with that stuff. We're not talking about retransfer here. We're talking about Media Shuttle or Spiro, that's the other one. Mark, when you copy files, are you just using data integrity checksums or just basic copying? Depends on what I'm copying. So if I'm copying one file, I'm just copying one file. But if I'm doing a copy like I'm using something called Shotput Pro. So that there's something called the MD5 checksum. But like I said, it depends. Because if you do the MD5 checksum, it takes too long sometimes. Answer your question? Anyway, so where was I? The visual effects, yes. So visual effects would upload to the Media Shuttle. David would download, and then David would grade, and then David would send it to me. Barry Donnelly would finish his sound, send it to me. So I'm the funnel. I'm the last cog in the wheel where everything comes together and needs to come through. Anyway, so ended up delivering the show in between the fact that the freaking internet cable somewhere in England or somewhere went cray-cray. Somebody is driving me insane. Anyway, so Carly, how does remote working impact communication with your director? You're talking about now offline. Okay. There are often nuances in conversations that happen when you are in the same space with your people. I'm not an editor, but I guess it's a universal thing with working with multiple departments. Great question, Carly. I was getting to that. So from my perspective, that was like an online, the last step in the process. Now let's run a little bit back, get to offline stage, and I guess it comes when you're offlining or you're creating your edits, okay? And you're specifically working on a show where a director is involved or a producer is involved, okay? There's many things that could go wrong because the communication needs to be extremely good, okay? And usually what happens is you need to have almost like a rapport and a way to think like what the director wants. And it's very hard to do if they're not right here. You see, there's the director's chair, and director not here, director not here. So there's a few things that can happen. So Richard Starkey posted a little how-to guide on how to do a Zoom session with your director. But now, I mean, do you really want your director seeing your screen? Because there's the way that Richard Starkey did it is you see basically what your client monitors, and then you need a little bit of hardware for that to actually work. What I have been doing with regards to my uploads for approvals, which is more or less the same thing. I actually wrote down here. So we use a platform called Frame.io. Okay, Frame.io. And the free version gives you 2 GB for free. So you should be able to, if you're working on something that's probably under an hour and a half, you should be able to upload a movie of about an hour and a half, which should come to about 2 GB. You should be able to do that. The nice thing of Frame.io is whoever watches can also comment exactly where they want to comment. So that time code is incredibly important. Something else that's very important is put in burn-ins, like time code, Bitsy, in the top, that corner. Sorry, I can't do that. The other corner. Put the Bitsy down. It's so that they can communicate. It's at this time code that I want that sound effect to happen. And I don't like that shot at this time code. And this part of the story, I want you to move forward. Thanks for posting, Jack. Something else I have used in the past would be Vimeo. But I mean, Vimeo is damn boring and takes long to actually show your damn video. YouTube also. You can do like a private link where nobody else can see it. And then they can do the same thing. But for the love of Pete, please put time codes so that your director can actually understand what they're communicating. You know that shot after that shot, after this shot, after that shot. I mean, I've had the weirdest like feedback, and I have no clue what they're talking about. Like, please just give me time code. Did that answer your question, Carly? Silaki, FCP as it internally, I think, yes, it's not internally, it's like a add-on that you can do. It's basically what you do is you put your username, you put your password, and it can upload. But you would need an account for that. Thanks, Silaki. Cool. And then, so to give you an idea, before lockdown, I updated my phone, not my phone line. I don't have a phone. I only have a cell phone. I had a 20 meg line at home, and I think I was paying 900 Rand a month, 980 or something for the 20 meg line. And of course, when lockdown happened, I updated my line to a 200 meg line. So I was uploading 90 gigabyte files, up, down, up, down, up, down. So that gave you an idea of the file sizes I was working with. So like I mentioned, some of the software that you can use would be Zoom, which is basically, it's got a screen share function. So that's quite cool. Frame.io, which gives you the function of also giving feedback at the time code you want that feedback to happen. But please do put your bitsy in. It's incredibly important to do that. In certain shows, they won't let you actually let anything go out of the building. So I work in a very enclosed environment where you have to sign all sorts of NDAs. Like I can't say what I'm working on until the first thing is broadcasted, for instance. So it's and I've basically, even on my promo work or private work or stuff that I do, I put a small little burn in at the bottom, property of Schnick Schnack, and then in that corner, yeah, where my finger is. No, okay, I can't do that anyway. In the corner, I put Bitsy for everything. Hi, Neo. Hi, Tumi. Anyway, shout out to everyone that's on. If I haven't seen you, give me a wave. Um, oh, I was talking about the burn-ins and stuff. So Frame.io is great for that. Vimeo, YouTube, do all of that. How often do you go live? This is cool. It's actually my first time, at least that I can remember. Anyway, with regards to hard drives, what sort of hard drives do you guys use? I'm a lazy fan. I've recently started to come to love the G-Tech drives, but I am going to be honest. I do have a drive, a Western Digital drive. I don't often use them, and of course the producers usually bring them these, and then I give them the look. Like, why are you giving me a Western Digital drive? It's like this is from the devil. I've had these hard drives fall over from me. So um, some people like them, some people don't. I like my laces and my G rates. Anyway, cool. So, oh, any more questions? No? G-Tech. Yes, Jack, I know you're into G-Tech. G-Tech are great. Thanks, Loki. I actually do not know how to pronounce your name. We got the same surname, so I love it. Cheyenne. No, probably. To me, I've been using G-Rate for past 8 years. Yeah, G-Rates are amazing. So I mean, I'm I'm not sure how much work is going to come in for editors in general for the next few months. But all I can say is I hope that movement won't be too much restricted so that you guys can actually get the media. The problem is that because we work with the file sizes we work with, right? Okay. Um, it can easily be a terabyte, and that's out of the question on a normal line. Even my 200 meg line, a terabyte is like crazy stuff. So I don't know how you guys feel about creating proxies or something like that. Which companies would you suggest final year production students visit for job shadowing and internships? Good question, why not start asking Sage? I know that there's a couple of editors that don't mind shadowing. And where are you located, Siambonga? Kali. Can you chat about media management and what you should do if you run out of space? There's no way to order drives right now. I think actually hot source is open, which means that you can buy, and you can buy hard drives of Take-A-Lot. So I'm being sneaky by avoiding that question. But first place to start is all the rubbish on your hard drives. Because there's, I don't know about you, but most editors I know hoard stuff for no reason. No reason whatever. Unless you hoard sound effects, you are a bad editor. Um, the first place I would start would be maybe delete render files. Do you really need all your render files? No, it's a bad place to start. At any given stage, I probably have 3, 4 hard drives lying around. So I usually make space somewhere. It's if you are working on Premiere Pro, well, clearing the media cache is the best way of getting rid of like hard drive space. Like quickly get that off. Okay, it'll start again. Although then you have to wait 10 minutes, go have a cup of coffee. You can't go have a smoke because we can't have cigarettes. I think most of us are trying to plan ahead, considering what is happening and taking jobs remotely. Yes. So, Lucky, you are completely right. And this is why we're actually having this webinar. It's not a webinar, it's a Q&A. Oh my gosh, I should get my language right. So I think first things first is most of the things that you would need would be, you would need a hard drive, you would need a laptop. Most of you probably would have one, or you would have a tower or something like I have a Mac Mini at home. And then whatever you're running. So, and an internet connection. Now, the problem is, okay, let's be honest, not all of us has a 200 meg line at home. Most of us uses our cell phones to do an upload. So then it becomes quite constrictive. And how do you do this? And unfortunately, these are going to become stuff that you actually need. You would need an internet connection to be able to get approvals out to the people that need to see the approvals. Or, I mean, think out of the box. Start thinking out of the box. Make a WhatsApp video. Like, try and get it out to the people that need to see it so that you can get feedback and get it back. There's a brilliant feature on Final Cut 10. I saw somebody ask something about Final Cut 10 earlier. An email function. You can actually email a video. It makes it small enough that you can email it. So, I mean, start thinking out of the box. It's literally creative ways of actually trying to get there. When I do media management, I literally make folders, and I make sure that my media goes into a media folder, and then my projects goes into a project folder, and my audio goes into an audio folder. And I try and keep it separate, and I try and keep it clean, and I get it right about 90% of the time until I work on my own stuff where all media management goes out of the window. So I try and be absolutely meticulous when it comes to my media management. Do you copy the raw files from the drives you receive and access footage from drives, or do you copy and work on your internal hard drives? Magdemary. I do. I copy the raw files onto my RAID so that there's a second copy. So my raid's over there. And I actually, depending on what sort of footage it is. So if it's something like XOVC, which comes off a camera and it's quite easily digestible. It's not RAID footage, right? It's something I can actually work with. Then I just copy it to my RAID and I work off my RAID. I don't work with internal hard drives because my setup is not set up that way. But I've got a work. Let's call it a work RAID, and I work off my work RAID. Okay. Salaki, at the moment I get footage delivered to me and I send compressed marks for approval. Great. You are working remotely and you're doing it like a A student. Always have to back up. Yeah, always back up. I actually, this is a tip for everybody. Unless you already answered this, I'll check again tomorrow. What RAID are you running? I'm running a G RAID. I think it's a 24 terabyte. Wait, let's see. It's not on. I'll switch it on and let you know. Okay. Salaki, your comment on backup. So my projects I back up onto Dropbox. I've got a Dropbox Pro account, I think. I don't know. It's the one you pay for. And I make backups of all my Premiere Pro projects or Avid bins or Resolve projects or you follow my drift? Okay. I put it onto Dropbox because God forbid the hard drive fails or ESCOM happens and your file is corrupted. And FYI, I know that ESCOM would happen somewhere in May. So be prepared with the UPS if you can afford one. None of us has money right now because lockdown. So we're in this together. Some questions, Mark. Are you editing with a proxy workflow or are you editing with raw files? It really depends on what I'm working on. So I work on a series right now, which is using proxy files. And then the proxy files then get relinked to the raw files, and then that gets graded. So then I work with the color graded stuff. So, but if I'm working on lower end stuff, so to give you an idea, I worked for the same company that Jack was working for, Afro Cards. They used the Premiere Pro workflow, and they would give me a hard drive with the media on, and we didn't use proxies at all. We literally just used the media as it came off the camera, boom, into Premiere Pro, and with the sound files copied, sync it up, boom, 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 cut, get it out. Probably cut the episode in 3 days or something. So yes and no. Proxy workflows works best when the camera format is too much for your computer. Okay, so it's impossible to try and cut something that is red on a laptop. Okay, you're going to struggle unless you actually set your display down so much that you can't even see any definition. So it's incredibly important to do a proxy workflow in certain instances. I prefer working with the proxy workflow if you've got the time. If you don't have the time, then you have to do what you have to do. Like 8K footage, yes, completely right. Like 8K footage. We had someone the other day did a commercial in 6K. 6K. And he was like saying, oh, his laptop is not so lacquer. I'm like, what are you working with? No RAID. I'm like, duh. Like, really? Anyway, so yes, and the worst thing is trying to explain this to producers, Mark. Why are you doing this? My computer, it cannot work if I do it this way. But why? I still don't understand. Sorry, I do that when I speak to the Swedes. I've got some Swedish clients, um, and I do their accent, very bad accent. Anyway, um, so it's incredibly important. Carly, I'm going back to your question. You were saying the relationship with the director. I think what's important from the editor's point of view is communication. So it's important for the director to communicate with you as it is important for the editor to communicate with the director. So it works both ways. It can't work just one way. It has to work both ways. So if something doesn't work, you need to say this doesn't work. But you have to have also pie them in a way. Okay, Liesel, are you listening? We need to pie you every now and again. And the pieing happens in such a way where they, oh, can we try this? You don't really want to, but you have to because you're the editor, you're not the director. And I've been in situations where I'm not like, there's no way now that this is going to work. And 9 times out of 10, I'm right. But there's 1 times out of 10, I'm not right. And because of that, I will try it. So if they ask you to do something like cut the sequence in one way and then cut the sequence in another way, do it. Because they're not with you in the setting, it is important that you actually give them options. The problem is when you've got deadlines, then you sort of have to like, hey, can we not do this right now? We need to get this done. Yeah. Okay. So one more thing that I wanted to mention is sending projects to different people in the chain. So I know Mornay Marais in Cape Town. I don't know about the Joburg guys, so I apologize profusely, but I know what's happening in Cape Town. Yes, getting to that, Jack. Sending projects. So let's say, I know Matthijs Pretorius is working. I know that Kyle Strubel is working. Should we start wrapping up? Private. Yes, I'm almost there, Jack. So there's various colorists that's working on the sound guys, like Mona Marais and the is the other guy, Barry Donnelly. There might be other guys also working with regards to sound. So sound, color. Okay. Colorists, if they got the media, they could finish. Okay. The sound, you need to send them AAFs. So everybody should be, do tell, because we may not know what is happening in Cape Town. Yes, there seems to be some people that actually finished films and some shorts and some dockies is happening behind the scenes. And so there is stuff happening behind the scenes. And as far as I can tell, production for local stuff can start happening again from tomorrow. So as far as I know, you might get busy, but social distance, people, social distance. So you can send projects to one another, you can send AAFs, but again, we need internet people. The upload, download, how do we send files? So what great FTP or share online storage solution for moving new media from set to the editor. Okay, so Jack, I'm checking was it Tarasiki? I'm so bad with these names. This is what they used on Survivor. They used the software where the server was in Joburg and they were down here in Cape Town, and they were basically editing on a like a Safari window open like team viewer, and they were basically editing that way. The software is called Teradisi. Teradisi, and they were cutting on Avid. So Teradisi was the server, and they were cutting inside Avid. Yes, thank you, Jack. The upload download I use is WeTransfer. The paid version, you can send up to 20 gigabytes. Dropbox also, if you've got a pro account, you can also do that. And then Media Shuttle, I've got the, I work with a facility refinery that uses Media Shuttle. So we've got almost like a Dropbox account. Everything goes into this one place specifically for that project, and people can upload, download from there. Cool. I just want to double check. Did I cover everything? It looks like the media houses are up, moving more to a Spira for FTP. Not necessarily. Refinery has been with Media Shuttle for a while, but HBO and NBC, who I've been delivering to, they use the Aspera platform, so you're completely right there. It depends on how much money they want to spend. That's what I find with these FTP solutions mostly. And coincidentally, Aspera is linked to Dropbox. So even if you upload to Mnet, it says Dropbox on the link when you do the upload. It's hilarious. Anyway, so we send it as a 5 terabyte limit. Thank you. I did not know about it. Thanks, Carly. Anyway, I hope you guys learned something. Is wrapping up any more questions? I am more than happy to answer. And here, Jack thought that we're only going to be busy for about 20 minutes. 5 gigabyte. Yes, I thought 5 terabyte might be too much. 5 gigabyte sounds about right. Because WeTransfer is like 2 gigabyte, right? We should be open sharing delivery specs to HBO. I think kind of Intel would benefit everyone. It depends on what your spec is, because literally my spec for HBO changed 4 times while I was on the job. Gareth, all the way from the UK. This is now, was this, did you get the time wrong because of the time difference? Yeah, so HBO spec is changes literally day by day. So I can't, I can tell you what it is. It's a OP1A, JPEG 2000 OP1A. That's what they want. Oh, and it's progressive scan, not even interlaced. So yeah. We're wrapping up. Did you have a question for us, Gareth? Yes, you got the time wrong, didn't you? Will we be able to watch this stream somewhere? I missed the start. Um, I waffled at the beginning, Carl, but you are most welcome. I think we are going to save the link and probably post it to the Facebook page. Just wanted to say hi. Pardon the typos from above. Not a problem. I don't know about you editors, but I think most editors have problems with spelling. I'm dyslexic, by the way. So, post in UK under lockdown. So, also a struggle. Yes, it's a struggle everywhere. But you're allowed to go outside, Gareth. We're not allowed to go outside except tomorrow morning at 6. Who's got their running shoes ready? I'm taking my dogs to daycare tomorrow. Cool. So let me just repeat. Um, Zoom, you get 40 minutes free. Frame.io, you get 2 GB free. Vimeo, YouTube account, you guys know how that works. Then upload, download, WeTransfer, Dropbox, Media Shuttle. What's the other one that we said here? Send it is the other one, which is 5 GB, not terabyte. Sorry, Carly. And then right at the end, Sage Blurb. Please go to the editorsguildsa.org. Started using Resolve a few days ago, and the project files are driving me mad. Where do you save, and how does it work compared to Premiere Pro project files? Daniëlle. So Resolve works with a database, and then inside the database is the project. So if you want to have the project elsewhere, so let's say you want to move it from your desktop machine to your laptop, you need to export the project. Um, it it works in that sense. It sort of works like Premiere Pro, but it basically works in a database container. We are going to look at doing a like a 2-hour session with Resolve for Dummies, and I will be the dummy talking about it. If you guys would like to do something like that, would you be up for it? I think it's best that experienced editors share as much as possible until most of us are mid-level editors and are still young. So if we brand together, that's exactly, Salaki, this is why we have Sage. We want all levels of editors to become involved. So please, if you can get involved with the South African Guild of Editors, please do. We welcome junior editors. And the older editors, the grayer ones like myself, I'm getting gray here, welcome junior editors, and we want to mentor you guys. I'd definitely be interested in Resolve for Dummies. Okay. I'm going to be doing that with Barry Strict. Let's see whether Marina, myself, and Jack can actually get a Sage on board, because we need to do it with Zoom so that I can actually share screen. Blah, blah, blah. Might record it and then post it. Anyway, totally in for Resolve for Dummies. Yes, Daniëlle. I'm glad this came up because this might be the next thing that we do. Anyway, so with regards to Sage, go to the website, see if you can sign up. Totally like I love people like Marina. She's got so much knowledge. people like Jack is a fucking rock star. So I mean, he's worked on like serious stuff, and he went to the Northern Cape the other day to go work on a movie with like a kick-ass editor. It's like the best thing since sliced cheese. Nah. Anyway. Please, Magda Marie, please do a resolve for dummies. Yes. So it's not going to be in depth. So you need to understand that because the in depth one that I do is like 3 days, 3 full days. So if the need is there, yes, please join. Please come join us at the South African Guild of Editors. I would really like, who said that? And Sophie. I would really like resolve for. Okay, so I've seen 1, 2, 3, 4 people so far that would do this. So do me a favor. We've got your names, I think, on here. We will put a post out on Sage and you can sign up. It will be free because I have no life. Okay. Oh, and private lessons. Ek ook. Okay, yes, Salaki, you're most welcome to come. Okay, guys. If there's no more questions, yay! Jack, I think I think this is cool. Cheyenne, this was interesting to watch, and thank you for taking the time to do this. We using software that you have mentioned in this, and they are great helping remote working. Cool. I'm so glad. If there's any questions on this webinar, when we post it, please do like questions in the comments. I will do my best to answer. Okay, cool.